Okay. Hello, everyone. Many of you may be aware that insulin was discovered in the year 1921. It was an epoch-making event, and the principal character or actor in this drama, I'd like to call it as drama because even movies have been made out of it. It's actually like a drama which unfolded the actual discovery of insulin itself. So the main actor in this was Dr. Frederick G. Banting, who subsequently has been immortalized because November 14th, Frederick Banting's birthday, is celebrated all over the world as World Diabetes Day. Now, Frederick Banting was a surgeon, an orthopedic surgeon, who was the most unlikely person to discover insulin. But he, through a dream that he got, I would say it's a divine intervention, uh, dreamt about this pancreas and how it may contain an internal secretion which can control diabetes. And ever since he dreamt about that, it became an obsession and a passion with him. And then he went on to work at the University of Toronto, assisted by a second year medical student called Charles Best. And it was Banting and Best who made that discovery that if you take out an extract from the pancreas and then give it to a diabetic dog, the blood sugars of that dog comes down. And this, of course, led to the Nobel Prize for Medicine and Physiology being conferred on Frederick Banting. And of course, there's also a lot of controversy regarding that because the prize was not given to Charles Best, who was actually involved in the work, but to Banting's boss, Professor MacLeod, who was a professor of pharmacology and physiology at the University of Toronto. And it was Professor MacLeod and Banting who got the Nobel Prize. Of course, there was another person who was involved in this, and that is Dr. Collip. And Collip was the chemist, and he's the one who actually purified insulin. Without Collip's contribution, this would never have actually come to use for human beings. So at the end of it, there were 4 people who shared the Nobel Prize because Banting shared his prize with Charles Best, and Dr. MacLeod shared his part of the prize with Dr. Collip, and therefore all the 4 technically were the recipients of the Nobel Prize. Now, why are we talking about this now in 2021? Because this year, 2021, happens to be the 100th the 100th year of the discovery of insulin, or the centenary of the discovery of insulin. Now, this is a big thing because the discovery of insulin is considered one of the greatest marvels of modern science. In fact, after insulin was discovered, within a year, the commercial production started. And by 1923, in 1921, the experiments were done by Banting and Best. And then by 22, the first recipients of insulin, children who were dying due to diabetic coma, were injected this insulin. They all sprang to life. It's like a miracle happening under the eyes of the doctors who injected that insulin. And then by 1923, the Nobel Prize was announced for the discovery of insulin. Never before in the history of the Nobel Prize had the prize been given so quickly after a discovery. And the other thing of interest is that Banting was only around 31 years old when he got the Nobel Prize, and he became one of the youngest in the Nobel Prize history to get the Nobel Prize. So in 2021, as we look back over these 100 years after the discovery of insulin, we must salute these 4 people, Banting, Best, MacLeod, and Collip, for that fantastic discovery that they made in the summer of 1921. But for that, those who have type 1 diabetes, predominantly children, would not have lived. In fact, the average lifespan of children with type 1 diabetes was about 3 months to 4 months. Very rarely, if they were put on a starvation diet, they could live for a year or 2. All that changed after insulin was discovered, and children started living longer and longer. And we have recorded instances of even people having lived 80 or even up to 90 years taking insulin all their life. We don't know very much about the history of insulin treatment in India, because at the time when insulin was discovered, the 1921, 22, 23, very little is recorded of India's contribution. I therefore took up a research along with several of my colleagues, trying to find out the events as they happened in India. And we retraced that history, and it was fascinating to find that by 1923, when insulin was discovered, the same year insulin has come to India. And the first recipients of this insulin in India, youngsters and children with type 1 diabetes, already received their insulin. So you can imagine, if you had type 1 diabetes and you were born before 1920, you probably died within a few months. And today, we know of people who have received insulin in India when they were children and are still alive. In fact, on July 17th of this year, 2021, we are organizing a special function to honor these heroines and heroes with type 1 diabetes. In fact, we've identified 5 of them who are alive today and who got type 1 diabetes as children and are still alive. And they will be virtually attending this function to receive what is called as the Dr. V. Mohan Victory Over Diabetes Medal. Now, a similar medal had been instituted by the Joslin Clinic at Boston many years ago. First, they were giving medals for those who completed 25 years. And then they started giving it to those who completed 50 years. And of course, now they've given it to people who are much longer. But in India, no such medal was there so far. So this is the first time in Indian history that a medal for those who have lived with type 1 diabetes for over 50 years is being given. And this will become an annual feature. This year, we know of a few more who have lived for 50 years, but we are giving it to those who have completed 60 years with type 1 diabetes. And the next set of awards will be given to those who have completed 50 years with diabetes. We are also instituted some other awards. There is a type 1 diabetes hero award. There is one person in India who was born blind and later developed type 1 diabetes as an adolescent. And he has mastered both these problems, and he's really got over them. He's fought them very bravely. And despite being blind, despite having type 1 diabetes, he's not only looked after himself, but has been a source of support to many, many children with type 1 diabetes. So we are honoring him with the type 1 diabetes hero award. I'm purposely not mentioning the names of these people, but you'll soon come to know about them when the award ceremony takes place virtually. So please join us for this event. There is a third one, third category of awards which are going to be given on that day. That is called as the Type 1 Diabetes Ambassador Award. There are many people with type 1 diabetes who have started associations, and these associations are to help and support children with type 1 diabetes. They usually started by those with type 1 themselves or their parents. And we have identified several such associations, and many of them have confirmed that they'll be participating in this award function. And so we'll be conferring them with the DMDSC Type 1 Diabetes Ambassador Award. So a lot of exciting things are happening on Saturday, the 17th of July, 2021. The function will start at 6 p.m. and will probably go on for a couple of hours with all these awards being given. I would like to invite you all to attend this very important landmark in India's history when we are actually giving out awards to people who have fought and conquered type 1 diabetes. At the end of this video, we will show you the link how to join this program. So I look forward to seeing all of you on the 17th of July. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We can.
I think this is enough for the 100th video
Yes, sir.
because it talks about the award. So
Yeah.
it's important. And we talked a little bit about Banting and Best. So I think either Vachiti, you finish off this video
Okay,
and
sir.
then subsequently we can take up other videos. In Nikkei, I've got lots of other work. So I think Idoda, I'll stop. And this is the 100th video.
Okay, sir.
Make it into a nice caption. We'll put
Yes,
it
sir.
into YouTube. And the same thing, we'll give the link in all the other platforms. So at least the path to people who want to attend it, let it attend. And then to join the program, link we will put it off. Is that okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. I think subsequently we'll talk about, once this function is over, we'll start talking about each one of these 5 people, and then other thing. Just like we're going to put the pictures, we'll also show some short videos, and I'll talk
Yes,
about
sir.
Dr. JP Bose, show his picture, probably about Banting itself. Another one I'll talk. I can make a series of videos on this, as you said. But the Indic
Yes.
event, I just now quickly finish. At 1 o'clock, I got one more thing. Not
Okay,
finished
sir.
my mail even, because I had to fit in Marine's PhD thing viva also. That also got over now.
Yes, sir.
So it's a heavy day. So, and evening we have that other thing also.
Yeah, 5 o'clock. Yes, sir.
So it's a I think this you put it into. It's about 8 minutes or so. So it should be okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So make this the 100th video.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
We can probably also say this is a 100th video of Dr. V. Mohan. Okay.
Okay, sir. Fine.
Can I leave now?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Bye. Thanks. Thanks. Hari.